Tonight's on the program, following the tremors last Friday, we take a look at what has gone wrong with the public alert systems and the suspicions surrounding the collapse of a building in Bangkok. Then our special coverage of the BIMSTEC summit in Bangkok and the significance of the meeting to Thailand. And we have a special interview with the Danish ambassador to Thailand. Swadika, I'm Nad Bunag and welcome to This Week with Thai PBS World. If you thought that there are no earthquakes in Bangkok, think again. The city will never be the same again following the tremors last Friday. People have realized that nowhere is exempt from the forces of nature and have become alerted to disaster preparedness. One of the biggest problems was the alert system, from which many people have complained that no one received the warnings. If we look at the alert systems in other countries, such as the J alert system in Japan, whenever there are emergencies such as an earthquake, tsunami, or typhoons, the system will transmit the alerts and warnings to the public through television, radio, and mobile alerts through the cell broadcast service in less than 20 seconds. Another example is the public warning service in Taiwan, where they also have an app which notifies users of an earthquake in less than 15 seconds of it being detected, especially those in the area where the earthquake occurs. But in Thailand, however, there seems to be a bureaucratic process between government and related authorities before the messages are transmitted. To recap, the earthquake struck in Myanmar at 1:20 p.m. Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra discovered at a meeting last Saturday that the Department of Public Disaster Prevention and Mitigation sent the information to the NBTC up to 4 times, the first one being at 2:20 p.m. So you can see there's a 1-hour gap between the earthquake and when the department sent the information to the NBTC. And the NBTC said that they received the information from the department to send the SMS alerts at 2:44 p.m. They also claimed that more than 10 million messages were sent on that day. But the Prime Minister quickly shot back, asking why so many people in Bangkok complained that they had not received any of the messages. They said the limitations were that the system can send the message to only about 200,000 mobile phone users each time. Meanwhile, an independent researcher in disaster preparedness told Thai PBS that there are too many layers in the process, having to go through several authorities before an alert can be sent. She noted that everything must be sent through the NBTC because the alerts are sent using SMS messages, which causes delays. In Japan, for example, which uses the cell broadcast system, it has pre-prepared messages for each scenario. So whenever there's an earthquake, the messages can be sent automatically. Therefore, she believes that if Thailand revises the alert systems, people would not end up panicking like the mass evacuations at government offices on Monday.
เราต้องมาประเมินความเสี่ยงในแต่ละฉากทัศน์กันใหม่เพราะตอนนี้ความเสี่ยงต่างๆที่เรายังมองไม่เห็นทีนี้พอเราประเมินความเสี่ยงเราก็ต้องกลับมาที่ว่าแล้วเราจะผลิตข้อความอัตโนมัติอันนี้เรากรณีเซลล์บอร์ดแคสสำหรับโดยใช้ระบบ Common Alerting Protocol เนาะเราจะให้ข้อความส่งข้อความอาณาเขตถึงไหนถึงเซลล์ไซต์ไหนแบบไหนอย่างไรอันนี้ก็คือเป็นโปรเซสที่เราจะต้องมารื้อกันใหม่เพื่อสื่อสารความเสี่ยงในภาวะวิกฤตค่ะตรงนี้มันมีประโยชน์ยังไงการวิ่งฟรีแบบเมื่อวานเนี่ยมันจะไม่เกิดขึ้นถ้าก่อนหน้านั้นเรามีระบบที่เชื่อใจได้ว่าตอนนี้เกิดสถานการณ์แล้วเราจะได้ออกไปข้างนอกอย่างปลอดภัยการมีเมสเสจตัวนี้แล้วมีแล้วไวและเชื่อถือได้จะควบคุมความโกลาหลหลังเหตุการณ์ที่ตามมาได้เยอะมากเลยค่ะ
Now let's turn to the economic impact. The tremors across Thailand have caused economic damage estimated at about 20 billion baht and may cause Thailand's GDP forecast for this year to drop to under 2.4%. The Kasikor Research Center also predicts that household purchasing power is expected to decline because people may have to use their cash reserves to hire inspectors to check damage to their houses or condominium units and for repairs. The center notes, however, that the housing market may benefit from the earthquake as home buyers may look at traditional houses instead of rooms in skyscrapers due to safety concerns. Meanwhile, purchases of condominium units in Bangkok may decline further as a result. The tremors last Friday have had a huge impact on Thailand's real estate sector, especially when it comes to making decisions to purchase new condo units in Bangkok and its vicinity. According to the president of the Housing Business Association, the tremors last Friday will affect at least 70,000 units in and around Bangkok, worth up to 400 billion baht. This also includes 30,000 housing units and 40,000 condo units as well. And consumers may delay their decisions to buy new condo units for the next 2 months. The association also predicts that the real estate market in Thailand will grow by only 3% this year instead of 5% as initially forecasted. And the investigation of the building collapse in Bangkok's Jatuchak area is well underway. We recently talked to Suchachawi Suwansawat, the former president of both the Council of Thai Engineers and the Engineering Institute of Thailand, as to what went wrong with the construction itself.
A major investigation is underway following the collapse of the 30-story building in Bangkok last Friday, where at least 15 people were found dead and about 70 remain missing. A new state audit office building collapsed when tremors from a strong earthquake in Myanmar reached Thailand. Questions have been raised as to why nearby buildings remain standing. Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra has called the collapse more than a structural failure. It is a matter affecting the country's reputation. She has ordered all government agencies to check the safety of projects involving the Chinese construction firm, which was responsible for the project. Professor Suchachawi Suwansawat, former president of both the Council of Thai Engineers and the Engineering Institute of Thailand, described the collapse of the State Audit Office building as a huge mistake, considering other high-rise buildings only suffered some cracks.
I mean, it's crazy that this big building is collapsed in a second, and only building in Bangkok. So what do you think? Should be very, very big mistake. Either the design, that right now we don't have a calculation sheet on hand. So it's very difficult to find out because you have to study how the designer designed the building. You need engineering drawing and also the calculation sheet. So you can dig it in and find out from the calculation sheet and engineering drawing to tell that it was go wrong. It's not just steel bar, because huge building totally collapsed in a second. Should be some big mistake.
Officials and staff of the State Audit Office on Wednesday visited the site of the collapse to collect steel and concrete samples to help identify the cause. The Thai Industrial Standards Institute has examined 22 steel samples taken from the wreckage. Results show that about 10% of steel did not meet industrial standards, raising further questions about the quality of materials used in the building's construction. Professor Suchachawi feels, however, that people shouldn't jump to the conclusion that the steel bars are to blame. In fact, there is still not enough information to identify the root cause of the collapse.
You not just come and take the steel out. This is it's not the way to take care of this. Materials, so many things, not steel bar, concrete strengths, what type of concrete, and what type of column, the height of the column, the size, the diameter, the location of the elevator. That is all information. We need to gathering all the information to complete the investigation.
Apart from the materials, the contract for the construction project itself has also come under scrutiny. The Justice Ministry will investigate whether the Chinese construction company responsible for the project had resorted to bidding collusion to win the contract, worth 2.1 billion baht, to construct the building. Regardless, Professor Suchachawi believes that thorough investigation is needed to discover root cause of the collapse, so laws and regulations can be revised to prevent such incidents happening in the future, as tremors last Friday will not be the last felt in Thailand.
If we cannot find what went wrong, how we adapt, how we make change. to make the Thai people feel safe. The country like Japan, they have a lot of knowledge from their own disaster, from their own earthquake. They still improve their law and regulation almost every single year, right? So again, even our law and regulation is not obsolete, of course. It's okay. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to make change. If we not investigate too loosely, we don't know how to improve ourselves. So let's begin with the building the collapse. And if we have information and is 100% information, we will use that to improve our law and regulation.
กิติพัฒน์ชื่นสุขจิต and Nat Bunnak reporting for Thai PBS World.
And as of now, there is not much information as to why the building collapsed, whether it's the materials or the design or if there are any other factors. While the tremors shocked people across the country, the building collapse also saw international rescue efforts from various countries coming together to save the people under the rubble. Here's more with Varisara Sehan.
It has been a week since the Chatuchak building collapsed after a tremor from an earthquake in Myanmar struck Bangkok. The search for the missing construction workers is still ongoing. This time, however, the BMA has been assisted by several international rescue teams, and one of those is from Israel. Other international rescue units from China, the United States, and Japan have also joined the mission.
After she came back,
Thai PBS World has an exclusive opportunity to interview the commander of the Israeli rescue team. Colonel Y shared his expertise and experience in responding to natural disasters. His team has assisted in rescue efforts following the deadly earthquake in Turkey. And a building collapsed in Miami.
I heard about the earthquake, I believe, minutes after it happened here in Thailand. We understood that there's big chances that our capabilities will be needed, and we made ourselves ready.
A delegation of 22 Israeli rescue personnel arrived in Thailand on Sunday, 2 days after the Chatuchak building collapse. The team in Thailand is gathering pieces of the rubble for a specialist engineering team back in Israel, who will use the data to create a 3D model to assess and estimate the number and locations of people trapped under the collapsed building.
We went to the hospitals and we interviewed those injured, rescued people, and it's a crumbles trail. We are walking crumble after crumble after crumble after crumble to build the picture.
Colonel Y admits, however, that this case is unique and more challenging than many of their past experiences.
Let's say if it's a building, a regular building in not your neighborhood, my neighborhood, okay, that crushed, you will look at family, you will look for something. You will have some details that will help you to solve the riddle. In this case, 34 floors looking the same. So even if you found someone and you talk to him, he will tell you, I ran through the staircase, I saw this, I saw that. He won't give you that much information. 75,000 tons of concrete and iron. It's a mountain of concrete. So now combine everything together, you will get a riddle that almost impossible to solve. We will solve it.
Despite the challenges, Colonel Y shared an impressive moment from working alongside other rescue teams for over 100 hours.
We worked in this kind of angle. You couldn't even stand there, but you need to work, you need to dig, you need to do something. So you can see an Israeli rescuer being supported by a Thai rescuer, behind him an American one, and behind him another Thai. It's a chain of rescuers that tells the entire story. Unfortunately,
forces the joint hands.
Orner Sagiv, the ambassador of Israel to Thailand, says that this cooperation between Thai and the Israeli team reflects the mutual assistance and support between the two countries, highlighting the strength of their bilateral relations. Additional volunteer support can be seen around the site, from trained sniffer dogs assisting in the mission to free food and drink tents providing sustenance to rescuers. Warisala Sehan reporting for Thai PBS World.
All right, and now let's have a look at the other stories making headlines throughout the week in our weekly roundup.
4 Chinese nationals who illegally entered the restricted zone around the collapsed State Audit Office building in Chatuchak district on March 29th have been sentenced to 2-month jail terms. The 4 were seen removing files related to the construction of the building, which collapsed after tremors from the March 28th earthquake in Myanmar struck the area. As they had no prior criminal record and had pleaded guilty, the jail terms were suspended for 1 year. Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra said the government has prepared measures to deal with the Trump administration's imposition of the reciprocal tariffs on Thai exports to the U.S. market. This came after the U.S. president announced the sweeping imposition of 10% reciprocal tariffs on imports from around the world and harsh additional taxes on key trading partners, including a 36% reciprocal tariff on goods imported from Thailand. The debate on the draft entertainment complex bill, initially scheduled for Thursday, was postponed until at least April 9th. The cabinet approved a controversial draft bill last week to establish integrated entertainment complexes that would include casinos. The government insists that the initiative will boost tourism and investment while tackling existing illegal gambling activities. The criminal court sentenced now former Palang Pracharat Party MP Sira Jenjaka to 1 year in prison and stripped him of his electoral rights for 20 years for standing in the 2019 general election while knowing he was not qualified to do so. The electoral law prohibits a convict from competing in elections. Sira had been sentenced to 4 months in jail on a fraud charge in 1995, but ran in the general election in 2019 and was elected an MP for Bangkok.
And this year, Thailand hosted the BIMSTEC summit in Bangkok, a regional meeting among the 7 countries in the Bay of Bengal to strengthen regional cooperation in several areas, including the economy, trade and investment, and climate change. Frank Han-shi was there at the summit and interviewed the Prime Minister of Bhutan for BIMSTEC about cooperation to mitigate global economic uncertainties.
Thailand hosted the 6th BIMSTEC summit in Bangkok this week, and with the theme of connectivity, Thailand's Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra aims to connect with 6 Bay of Bengal countries, including India, Bhutan, Nepal, and other important countries in the region. And another significant part that actually media outlets focus on is the participation of Myanmar. And this time, of course, the Myanmar military leader Min Aung Hlaing joined the summit since the 2nd day. And right now, of course, he also joined the leadership conference this time. And I think, of course, Thailand wants to really connect with these countries. And one of the measures and policy is to connect by MOUs and FTA. And one of the FTAs signed at the Sideline meeting is with the Prime Minister of Bhutan, chairing Tokgay this time. And of course, with the FTA amounted over the 460 million baht with mutual trade there. And that would be a remarkable step to go forward in terms of trade. And he also talked about the Myanmar issues this time. That's my conversation with the Prime Minister of Bhutan. Have a look. Actually, I want to talk about, of course, last year I went to Chulalongkorn University to listen to your speech too on the philosophy.
You were there?
Yes, I was there. So listen to you about
you.
your philosophy, enlightened leadership. I think this is very important philosophy or ideology for our audience too. As in, of course, under this philosophy, of course, we are in a very uncertain world with uncertainties in this region, globally. For example, of course, we talk about Myanmar in this region, or globally, economic uncertainties too. So under your philosophy, how could we really mitigate the crisis, or we have different mindset about these issues?
Well, to address any crisis, you need leaders.
Yeah.
You need good leaders to move, to understand the situation, the current situation, the status quo. You need good leaders to take people from where we are in the status quo to a better place, almost like a promised land. You need good leaders. Whenever there is change, to move from the status quo to a better place requires change, and whenever there's change, it involves sacrifices, and sacrifices is painful, and people resist it. And so you need to have good leadership to help people on that journey of change. I believe that enlightened leadership has some value. And I consider enlightened leadership as leaders who exercise wisdom, courage, and compassion, and are driven by selfless service, not personal interests.
This time you come here for BIMSTEC summit. In the sideline meeting, of course, Thailand and Bhutan signed the free trade agreement here. How does that really forge the collaboration, and what is the economic benefits for both countries?
Well, you're right. I've come here primarily to attend the BIMSTEC summit, which is under the chairmanship of Thailand. And Honorable Prime Minister is doing a wonderful job in chairing the BIMSTEC summit. I know it's going to be very successful, and her success and Thailand's success is going to bode well for the entire BIMSTEC region. But I'm not here just for BIMSTEC. I'm also here because I have many Thai friends, and to meet many of my Thai friends, and also to meet members of the Thai government, and to not just discuss any longer, but to sign the free trade agreement. And this free trade agreement is very important for both our countries.
Right. The Prime Minister of Bhutan talked about his ideology of enlightened leadership, a good leader within the democratic system. And of course, this time we can see some political implications, as in, of course, the military leader from Myanmar, Min Aung Hlaing, joined the meeting this time. And some criticism from another side say that Thailand shouldn't involve in Myanmar's issue. Of course, the humanitarian assistance is the key for Thailand to help Myanmar on the earthquake, 7 points of magnitude earthquake in the central of Myanmar. But this time, some analysts say that, of course, Thailand should stay away from Myanmar issues. But one of the professors from Utbong Ratchathani University said that this is a stage for Myanmar to participate and voice out in the international stage. So we will see how the political implications to Thailand about the Myanmar's military juntas and leaders' participation in this year's BIMSTEC summit can really draw the implications and criticism to Thailand. Frank Kanshi reporting for Thai PBS World in Bangkok.
Still on international relations, Thailand has maintained its diplomatic relations with Denmark for more than 400 years, strengthening collaboration in trade and technology. The Danish ambassador to Thailand emphasized that these long-standing ties will foster further partnerships. He also praised Thailand for legalizing same-sex marriage earlier this year.
Over 400 years ago, Denmark's commercial vessels arrived in Thailand for trade. Today, Danish companies provide more than 50,000 jobs in the country. The ambassador of Denmark to Thailand stated that both countries have strengthened relations in various areas, including health technology.
We are primarily selling pharmaceuticals and medical device in Thailand, and the other way it's primarily electronic apparatus that is being sold to Denmark. We have seen good growth last year, stable, but previous years good growth in our trade. and it's rather equal. It's approximately 800 million euro being imported into Denmark and exported out of Denmark. We have several companies that have a strong and good footprint in Thailand. Novo Nordisk is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world, specialized in obesity and diabetes. Cities for Better Health is a new project they're going to be launching in Bangkok this year. We look very much forward to working with BMA and Novo Nordisk.
In addition to cooperation with government, what impresses the ambassador is Thailand's strategy of developing soft power with diverse landscapes and a warm, welcoming attitude. Ambassador Anand noted that an increasing number of Danes are choosing to travel to Thailand.
First of all, I think Thailand has a fantastic brand, and soft power is very much about the brand of the country. I know Thailand has a very, very strong brand. And just to emphasize the strong brand of Thailand, Thailand is one of the most popular tourist destinations for Danes. We are 6 million people living in Denmark, and last year 140,000 of them decided to travel 10,000 kilometers to spend their holidays in Thailand.
Another significant development in the country is the legislation of the same-sex marriage. As Denmark was the first country in the world to recognize same-sex unions, ambassadors say that he is proud of Thailand for protecting the rights of same-sex couples and hopes that this legislation will inspire other countries in the region.
I would like to commend Thai government and the Thai people for the Equality Rights Act that was entered into force in January. I think that is inspiration, or should be inspiration, for many other countries to go down the same track. Actually, Denmark was the first country in the world to legalize marriage between same sex. That was in 1st of October 89, and the reason why I remember is because I just started studying law back then. And that was a big step for Denmark.
Since relocating to Thailand last year, the ambassador has been mesmerized by the friendliness of the Thai people and the country's cuisine, emphasizing that no one could dislike Thai gastronomy.
If there's something I should pinpoint as absolutely fantastic about Thailand, it is the people. You meet friendliness, you meet smiles, and you mentioned yourself the food. Just thinking about food, my mouth starts running in water. I do appreciate it, and I've always had a big heart for Thai food ever since I can remember.
Do you have any favorite dish?
Oh, tom yum soup and green curry and many. I've not had anything I disliked yet.
Frank Kanshi reporting for Thai PBS World.
All right, and that wraps up tonight's edition of This Week with Thai PBS World. Join us every Friday at 10:30 p.m. only on Thai PBS. And don't forget to follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates about Thailand as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ